There is a plant that refuses to die. You can chop it down, you can burn it, you can leave it to freeze in the dead of winter. Yet it returns every spring with more vigor than before. It yields 3 times more food per acre than the potato. It requires no pesticides, no replanting, and no pampering. If you plant just 1 tuber today, your great-grandchildren could still be harvesting from that same patch 100 years from now. It is the ultimate survival crop, a biological cheat code for infinite calories. But if you walk into a modern grocery store, you will not find it. If you ask a modern farmer, he will call it a nuisance. He will call it a weed. Why? Why would we erase a plant that offers total food security? Why have we traded a warrior for a weakling? The answer is not in nature. The answer lies in the boardrooms that decided you should buy your food, not grow it. They want you to rely on crops that fail, crops that need their chemicals, crops that die every year. They do not want you to know about the plant that offers freedom. But the soil remembers. Welcome to Ancestral Soil. To understand why we lost this treasure, we must travel back to the frozen plains of North America 3,000 years ago. Long before the first European ship touched these shores, the indigenous tribes held a secret. While others starved during the brutal winters, they thrived on a root they called the sunroot. They did not plow the earth. They did not destroy the soil structure. They simply let this plant grow wild. It was their winter battery, a dense packet of solar energy stored underground, waiting for the moment when the snow was deep and the game was scarce. History then jumps forward to the darkest days of the 20th century, World War II. Europe is under siege. The Nazis have confiscated the grain. The potato crops have failed or been stolen. Famine is not just a threat, it is a reality, walking through the streets. In this hour of desperation, the people turned back to the forgotten sunroot. It was the only thing left. It grew in the bomb craters. It grew in the abandoned lots. It kept millions of French and Dutch families from starvation when the industrial food system collapsed. But gratitude is short-lived. When the war ended and the Americans arrived with their white bread and industrial potatoes, the sunroot was cast aside. It became associated with the trauma of war. It was labeled poor man's food. We turned our backs on the savior that fed us when we had nothing, choosing instead the convenience of a crop that demands our slavery. We forgot the sunroot, but as we are about to discover, it never forgot us. So who is the imposter sitting on the throne? Meet the potato, the darling of modern agriculture. To grow a potato, you must pamper it. You must protect it from the Colorado beetle. You must spray it with chemicals. You must ensure the soil is perfectly tilled. And after all that work, if a late blight strikes, your entire harvest rots in a week. The potato is a biological weakling. Now look at the Jerusalem artichoke. You drop it in the worst soil you have. Clay, sand, drought, it does not care. It fights its own battles. It strangles weeds. It resists pests. It is a warrior. So why is the grocery store filled with weak potatoes while the warrior is nowhere to be seen? The answer is chillingly simple: convenience. The potato is smooth. It is round. It fits perfectly into the industrial peeling machines of the processed food giants. The Jerusalem artichoke is different. It is knobby. It is irregular. It looks like the gnarled fingers of an old man. It refuses to conform to the standard shape of a machine. Because it was hard to peel by robot, the industry decided it was not fit for human consumption. They chose aesthetics over nutrition. They chose profit over survival. But there is another reason they hide it, a reason that whispers of danger. The Jerusalem artichoke has a defense mechanism, a weapon hidden inside its cellular structure. If you treat it like a potato, if you eat it like a potato, it will punish you. It has earned a notorious nickname in the survival community. They call it the Fartichoke. But what if I told you that this punishment is actually a secret signal? A signal that your body is finally healing. This brings us to the science, and this is where the potato truly loses the war. When you eat a potato, you are eating starch, simple, aggressive starch. Within minutes, your body converts it into sugar. Your blood glucose spikes, your insulin surges. It is a roller coaster that ends in a crash. It is fuel for diabetes. The Jerusalem Artichoke plays a different game. It does not store energy as starch, it stores it as inulin. Listen closely because this molecule is the key to everything. Inulin is a prebiotic fiber. When you eat it, your stomach cannot digest it. It passes through your system untouched, acting like a ghost until it reaches the lower intestine. And that is where the magic happens. In your gut, there are billions of good bacteria that are starving. They have been starved by sugar, by processed flour, by the modern industrial diet. When the inulin arrives, it is a feast. The gas, the bloating, that is not a sickness. That is the sound of a microbiome party. It is the sign of life returning to a dead soil within your body. Science from top universities confirms it. Inulin stabilizes blood sugar. It improves calcium absorption. It is a natural defense against modern metabolic diseases. The ancients didn't have microscopes. They didn't know the word inulin, but they knew the feeling. They knew that while the potato gave them a quick burst of energy, the sunroot gave them endurance. However, the power of inulin is potent. Like any powerful medicine, if you take too much too fast, the side effects can be explosive. But do not worry, we can tame the beast. We can break the code. There is a way to unlock all the nutrition of this plant without the discomfort, a method that turns this wild root into the perfect food. And I am going to show you exactly how to do it. Knowledge is useless without action. It is time to reclaim your food security. Here is the manifesto for the sunroot. First, the planting. Do not treat this like a delicate garden vegetable. Treat it like an invasion. Find a spot you can surrender, a corner of your yard, a strip of waste ground, or a guerrilla patch in the wild. Bury the tubers 4 inches deep, then walk away. You do not need to water them. You do not need to weed them. They will rise like a green wall, choking out the competition. They will bloom with beautiful yellow flowers, hiding the treasure underneath. When autumn comes, do not harvest. Wait. Second, the harvest and storage. The potato rots if you leave it in the ground. The sunroot thrives. The soil is your refrigerator. It keeps the tubers crisp and alive even when the air temperature drops below 0. Dig only what you need for the day. But now we must solve the problem, the gas. Third, the code breaker. How do we eat this superfood without the explosive side effects? We use chemistry. Rule number 1, let the frost do the work. If you harvest after a hard freeze, the plant naturally converts some of the inulin into fructose. It becomes sweeter and easier to digest. Rule number 2, the acid transformation. This is the secret chef's trick. When you cook them, whether boiling or roasting, add lemon juice or vinegar. The acid, combined with slow heat, hydrolyzes the inulin. It breaks the long chains down before they reach your gut. Rule number 3, fermentation. Pickle them. The lacto-fermentation process pre-digests the fiber for you. It turns the Fartichoke into a probiotic powerhouse that is gentle on the stomach. We live in a fragile world. We rely on trucks to bring us food. We rely on corporations to tell us what is edible. We have traded our independence for convenience. But what happens when the trucks stop? The potato in your pantry will rot in a month, but the Jerusalem artichoke in your backyard will wait. It will wait through the drought. It will wait through the winter. It will be there when you truly need it. Planting this weed is not just gardening. It is an act of rebellion. It is a declaration that you can feed yourself, that you do not need their chemicals, that you do not fear their stigma. The knowledge was never lost. It was just sleeping, waiting for someone brave enough to dig it up. You have the seed. You have the secret. Now, go plant your freedom. Welcome to Ancestral Soil.